Okay, so let's tackle the last part of the web page to make it similar to the previous one, which was the form input. So what we want to do, we want to again do it after this row. We don't want it to be in the same, but what I'm also going to do, I'm going to make this the size of the web page. Right, so I'm going to make it a class size of col SM12. So that's saying create this, if I type right, the size of the entire web page. Okay, so there we have our section, as it were, and let me just put a H3 in here saying input your details. Okay, just to your details. Okay, so that's the H3. That's a bit of a header. So next column. So next, let's create the form. In fact, before we create the form, why don't we actually copy the form from our previous web page? Go to the right one, because we want to copy this information at some point anyway, and then we can just change it appropriate to the Bootstrap page. So let's paste that in there. Okay. So let me just tab inline that one as well. So what we're saying is the form action page is the same, the method post is going to stay the same, and all we want to do now, we want to add a couple of more things. So we're going to say our class is equal to form inline, and there's a reason for that. That's because I want to make it go across the page rather than one after the other, and I'm going to remove the BR tags as well because I'm not having them one after the other. I want it to be inline, and then I'm going to say the role is equal to form. Okay, that's all the changes we're going to make there. Next difference I want to do inside the form itself, I want to put a new div. Okay, I want that class to be our form group, because all I'm doing is grouping them together. Okay, and let's close that off, and then what we need to do, we need to put that div just before the end form tag here. So let me just go here and go close off that div. There we go. As I said, I want to remove these BRs, so I'm going to do that now. Okay, and what I'm also going to do, I'm going to put labels, so I can put a bit of text against them just to make it a little bit more sensical when you look at it. So I'm going to say label, if I can spell today, label for, and then this one is label for name. Okay, and then all we're saying is that is name. I'll put a comma there. There we go. And then again the same thing here, we're going to say label for email. And then text is just email. Okay, that's just putting some labels in there just to make it look a bit nicer. So the next thing we need to do, we need to go to our input type, and what we need to do, we need to say class is equal to form control. Okay, we need to do that on both, and then finally, because we're using labels, we need to set an ID to what we've recorded in the label. So ID is equal to name. On this case, let's go down to email and say class is equal to form control. Okay, and then ID on this one is equal to email. That associates the label with the input type that we're using. So now if I come back to my web page and I do a refresh of that, there we go, we have our lovely input details form. If I was to close this down, you see at the point where it gets too small, it actually resizes everything, so we can get some lovely sizing on a mobile device. If I input some data, so at me for example, and then I click the submit button. Now it won't actually work on this machine because I don't have PHP installed, but it does show that it tries to do the post. So that's how you would add your form on or using Bootstrap. Very similar to the previous website. The only difference is we're using these class form controls to allow us to control the form when we're actually decreasing the size or using a device smaller, such as a mobile phone or a tablet computer.